Well, good morning, everybody. Hey there. It is Melanie Metro, the host of the Women Inspiring Women podcast. And today I have the best episode planned for you guys. And the reason I know it's going to be the best episode is because this is probably the number one thing that people will tell me or ask me about or comment in a conversation. And that number one thing is I don't have anybody left to invite. I don't know who to connect with. My followers aren't growing. And I am going to tell you right now the biggest secret and the thing that is truly changing the game for me. So before we dive into that, though, I always like to do my weekly ratings and review. And if you are a new listener or if you've been loving this podcast and you check it out on a regular basis, you do me a huge favor. One of the things that just genuinely helps me as a podcaster to keep providing you with quality content is when you leave me a review. Head on over to iTunes, leave me a rating and review, and you might just be the listener of the week. So this week, I want to shout out a wonderful woman that left me a review last week, and she said, "Shine your brightest with Beth." That's her name. And she said, "You are one of my favorites. Thank you so much for being raw and vulnerable about your goals and your struggles. And I've listened to you for about a year, and I've always appreciated your truth bombs. You've helped me aspire to new heights in my life and business, so thank you for being real." So thank you so much, Beth, for leaving me that awesome review. And now it's time to dive on into today's episode. So you guys, I personally am very passionate about growing your presence on social media. I truly believe that as business owners in 2020, you cannot ignore the potential growth possibilities, the potential that is out there with our social networking. I mean, every single person, the large majority of people are going to be on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. They listen to podcasts, they watch YouTube videos. We are a socially connected world. And as a business owner that is trying to get in front of your ideal audience, you want to make sure you're hanging out where your ideal clients are spending their time. And that means showing up on social media and really showing up with one really key thing. Yeah, you are trying to create a business, you are trying to grow income, but you can't do that unless people know you, like you, and trust you. And there is a way for you to bridge that gap between the two, and we're going to talk about that today. And I'm just going to throw in here a little plug. One of the products that I launched with my business partner at the end of 2019 was the Make Chic Happen 52-week social media game plan. You can see it's well loved, it's tabbed, it's something that I use on a daily and weekly basis. And the beginning really talks to you about your social media, and then we actually walk you through how to create a game plan for your week. And I use it every single week. It helps guide me in my journey to really continuing to grow my audience, whether it's here on the podcast or it is on my Instagram, my Facebook, or with Chic Influencer. So let's dive in. So you guys, just if you're driving right now, I want you to give me like an amen or raise your hand if you are, or if you're sitting in your cubicle, like just, are you thinking to yourself, I want to grow this business so bad and I want it to grow fast, but I don't have anybody to invite? Or you say to yourself, I feel like I'm out of people to talk to. Or you're saying, why aren't they beating down my door to buy my product and service? Like, it's amazing. I believe in it. Well, number one, I truly believe that you probably aren't effectively telling your story. Number two, you're probably standing there, and I talk about this, like Ace Ventura, arms are open, Pet Detective, where he's like, oh, and all the birds are flying in. Sorry for my awful singing, but like he's calling in the birds, right? Well, when you make a social media post or you open the doors to your business, you're not Ace Ventura. People are not just going to suddenly flock to you. You have to go out there and connect with them. And that's the real truth. So if you're just on social media saying, I posted today, I documented my workout, or I did my stories, or I showed up on LinkedIn, people don't care unless you're providing value to them, unless they see you as somebody they want to connect with. And you don't actually grow and earn their trust on the first post that you make, or the second, or the third, or the 10th, or the 20th. And it's the same thing with private conversations. We are a world where our guard is up. And in order to be able to break past that barrier, we have got to serve people a heck of a lot before they are willing to spend a dime on us. All right. And if you look at any name out there, even myself included, I spend a lot of time providing free content, which I still do, in order to gain the trust of the people that were in the arena with me. So my top tip today for growing your community, and I'll give you some backstory because this is something that I implemented in 2011 when I opened the doors to my Facebook and my blog and I started my business, but this is also something I'm implementing in 2020. So in 2019, I had, 75 Facebook friends, and I started a free blog on Blogger, and I started to journal my fitness journey. I was launching my business to the world. I was going to be an online virtual health and fitness coach, and my vision, my mission was to inspire women who wanted to learn how to lose the weight after having kids and really wanted to embrace clean eating and exercise from home. So that was my business model. And still that is a portion of what I do today. And so for me, I thought, okay, nobody knows Melanie Mitro as a health and fitness coach. People know Melanie Mitro as a mom of 2 little boys, newly married, lives in Mars, has a puppy, right? Stay-at-home mom, just quit her full-time job. I have my master's in special education and undergrad in psychology. No health and fitness attached there whatsoever. So I had to establish credibility. And for me, I thought I'm going to establish credibility by showing up and serving. I'm actually going to treat my social media platform as if I am the teacher, and my followers, my friends, my current friends, you're going to be my students. And so I wasn't worried about annoying people or giving them things they didn't care about, because if people don't engage in your content, eventually they're not going to see it anyway. So you got to do you, right? You can't be worried about what other people think. And this was a quote that I heard early on, is you can't pay your bills with somebody else's opinion. So do what you love. And if you're passionate about your business opportunity, seize the freaking day, people, right? So, all right, off my soapbox. So I had this small amount of followers, and I wasn't focused on selling. I was focused on serving. I was definitely throwing in a call to action, like, hey, if this post spoke to you, I'm getting ready to run my next accountability group. Here's how you fill out the link in the application, or like this post, or drop me a comment, or send me a direct message, right? So I was telling people, if they liked my content, where to go to get more of it. Not every post, but I tried to be consistent with that. All right. Okay. So the next thing is I really needed to grow my network. I only had 75 friends. And so I needed to start connecting with people. So what I am going to tell you to do is exactly what I would do and what I am doing today. So you want to not connect with people with one sole intention, I just want to sell you a product, right? You want to connect with the intention of, I want to be a professional friend maker. And this is how I do business. So on Instagram, for example, there are a few accounts of people that I follow. Now, they're big accounts. They're people they're authors, they're Christian authors, they're people that, have written books about things that I personally need help with. So for example, I talk very openly about my struggle with anxiety. So I follow Jenny Allen, and I follow, other authors out there that have written books along those same topics. I follow people that, currently we're getting ready to do some like renovation projects. So people that have the kind of style that I have, I'm following their accounts. But I'm not just following their accounts, I'm engaging in their community. So community on Instagram are the commenters, the people underneath of the post. So I'm not trying to recruit, that specific blogger, but I'm trying to connect with that blogger, but her community, because they're people like me. The person that writes, the author of anxiety books, her followers are going to be people with some of the same challenges, or people that are trying to navigate through it. And because I'm engaging in that community, I'm commenting, I'm sharing what I'm doing, my morning meditation. I'm talking about the books that I'm reading. I'm talking about the apps. I'm talking about, the way I'm changing my nutrition to help deal with my anxiety. I'm now just connecting with people. And when they come to my Instagram and they see my page, they see, yeah, okay, she actually talks in her stories about decreasing anxiety. Yeah, she's reading the same books I am. Okay, she's talking about her nutrition. And so I'm connecting the dots, right? And so now I'm gaining followers that are my people because I'm engaging with people. And I'm not looking at this like, oh, you liked a post of mine, or oh, you followed me back, let me send you an invite to join whatever product or service. No, I'm not doing that unless they are going to comment on something of mine, or I notice they start watching my stories. I'm going to send them a private message and we're going to start the conversation. Hey, I noticed you're following me back. Thanks. Like, it was great to connect with you over on so-and-so's account. It's awesome to connect, right? And it's nice to have friends that are going through the same things that I'm going through. So I give some realistic advice to people. All right. So that's number one. I do that on Instagram. So pick 3 or 4 accounts that you are going to infiltrate yourself into the community. You're going to be active. All right. There's somebody that just did this on my Instagram account yesterday, or Sunday actually. And I had posted about the Make Chic Happen planner and people were commenting. And before I could even jump in, she was like, I love the planner so much. I hope you don't mind me answering the questions. I was like, no, that's awesome. That's cultivating community. That's what you want. People like that are in there talking. That's going to grow my engagement and, is going to help me connect with the right people. Okay. All right. So that's my Instagram story. Now let's talk about Facebook. Same thing on Facebook. You want to not just show up and be the business that you have. So if you sell hair care products or skincare, your entire newsfeed shouldn't be about your business because you are somebody else outside of that business. So do you have kids? I have kids that are involved in sports. And so any kind of articles that I find that talk about being a sports parent or sports life or mom or raising boys, I can share that content on my page as shared content. And it's going to bring like-minded people together into the comment section. It's going to raise awareness of my content and maybe even allow me to find some new followers and friends. I am going to be super aware because I'm a business owner of who's liking and who's commenting, making sure that if it is Facebook, if they aren't my friend, that I look at their profile and I make a decision as to whether or not they would be somebody I would want to connect with. If they're a business owner in my industry, especially in network marketing, I'm not going to send them a friend request because, we can be friends. My profile's public, but I'm not going to make you a Facebook friend. Does that make sense? Because I want to keep that to prospective clients and friends. So with that being said, I'm going to make sure that I'm paying attention to all likes and comments. I'm creating shared content that is outside of what I do, but is a part of my brand. But I'm also going to go into groups on Facebook. So again, sports mom, I can find all kinds of baseball and basketball groups that are moms of kids in sports, even within my local community. I'm not going in there to sell. I'm not posting anything salesy, but I can ask questions. So last week I was hosting a call for my team and I was showing them how I do this, and I was looking for a tutor for my son. So I went into one of our local community groups. I made a post about needing to find a tutor for my son who is in 4th grade. And so what I did was I got a list of names. I do genuinely need a tutor, but I've allowed myself to connect within a group, engage in a community. People came to my page and friend requested me. I friend requested the women that I was talking to. It just opens up a connection. All right. So this is one of the things that you want to mark your calendar. 20 minutes a day, building community. Nothing more than becoming a professional friend maker, because it's called this community bucket. And when your community starts engaging with you, they begin to know you. They begin to decide whether or not they do or don't like you. Then they decide whether or not they trust you. Then they're going to move to another bucket where they're actually interested in the services that you provide. And so in order for us to continue to have people that get to the bucket over here on the far end, which is the people that become your actual, customers and clients, you got to start with know, like, and trust, and it's making that initial connection. It may sound like a tedious task, but friends, this is how you do it. This is how people build a business, is they are creating connections on a daily basis. And they're connecting with the right people, not just everybody, but the people they want to engage with. So set a timer. Start now. Put it in your calendar. Whether you use a Google Calendar or a paper planner, connection. Connect for 20 minutes. Might be while you're sitting, at the kitchen table waiting for dinner to finish cooking. Or it could be while you're sitting in the parking lot waiting for your kids to get done with dance lessons. But carve out the time every single day to create real, authentic connections. And the last piece of advice I am going to throw your way has to do with hashtags. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I have really taken in and began to use is, as an Instagram person, Instagram influencer, right? I really pay attention to hashtags. They should be at least 27, 20 to 27 hashtags is reasonable, but you want to use hashtags that are related to your industry. So I am a business influencer, fitness influencer, Pittsburgh influencer. And so I go to that hashtag. I find other people that are using that hashtag. I connect with those people. I also look at what hashtags they're using because that can help me find more direct people. Based on the post that I'm posting, I have like certain hashtag sets for different things I do. Since my business follows a pretty regular cadence of health and fitness and mindset, business, family, anxiety, living my best life, I've got 5 or 6 different hashtag sets that I use. And I notice that I find people through there and people do find me. That's like the eye contact, and then we start making the connections. All right. So you guys, if you are struggling to grow your community, I guarantee these are the things you want to start implementing that are going to change the game. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. As always, tag me on IG stories, tag me on Facebook, share this with your friends, your business partners, your organization. Let's get the word out about the Women Inspiring Women podcast. And thank you so much for showing up today. I hope this was helpful and have a great week. Bye, guys.